Demario, this is the beginning of a long process, but what are you hoping to see out of these OTAs and these off-season workouts?
Just an opportunity to get better. Feel good to be back out there moving around. Um, you know, going against an offense on the other side, running plays, being able to cover guys. Work on technique. This is a time where you can just figure out what your range is and things that you want to work on to get better. You can really push them to the max. So it's a fun time of year.
Is it tough to kind of, I guess, start over from scratch? Because I mean, obviously, there's not much carryover from last year. You might have the same players, but now you're trying to integrate some new guys and trying to maybe do some different things.
I think front office did a good job of retaining a lot of our guys, and so the culture still feels the same. Most of the faces are the same. We look around, especially on the defense side of the ball, and so of course, there's young guys and new guys, and they have to kind of get adjusted. I was in that stage last year, but just as far as collectively, the rooms look the same.
How important was it to maintain that culture and to keep those familiar faces and hopefully build on the cohesion you guys had last year?
It's not easy to make it as far as we made it in the league, and so I think that's a tribute to the staff, the locker room, and that chemistry. And so I think that's important when you get it there, you try to keep it as best you can.
How much does that help you personally to have a year with a lot of the same faces? Like, how much better can you be in year two when you got a lot of the same guys back?
I think it's helpful. We had a fun locker room last year, and I think that was a big part of the success that we had. And now we just get the chance to continue to build on that. Me individually, I'm always trying to take my game to the next level. So whatever I got to do to do that is just you're building from scratch every year. Of course you get to build on some things, but you got to tear down the good, the bad, and start from scratch pretty much mentally. And it's a long process, it's a journey, it's a marathon every year. And so you got to run it as such, but it definitely helps when you got brothers that you've been in the battle with, going out there with you.
After a year of living here, for being from fairly close to here, how has that been maybe different than you thought it would be, being sort of close to home?
Greatest culture in football. Greatest culture in football, period.
When you talk about culture, you talk about locker room, what's the process like replacing a voice and a person in a locker room like Mark Ingram?
Yeah, man, it's hard when you lose a brother like that, I don't think you really can replace, a person like him, but we all know this is the business of football. It goes on, year in, year out. Even if you retain as much of your locker room as possible, your team is going to have some changes, and that's just part of it. And so, it's next man up, on to the new, and I think we'll be all right.
As far as leadership and a voice, I mean, do you look to maybe another guy in the locker room to step up? Is that just something that some of these leaders in the locker room kind of just take on as far as some of the things that Mark did inside and here with you guys?
Well, I think one of the great things about a locker room like this is just it's filled with a bunch of alpha dogs and a lot of good positive leaders, and I think that's how you create a culture like this. They've had so many guys in the system that have been here for a long time that understand, Saints brand of football, understand, how to set the standard and not just accept anything. And the locker room is full of guys like that. So, when you lose, key pieces like Mark Ingram, like Max, it's you still got a bunch of guys that you can look to that are going to maintain the culture, and that's something that you can't find in every locker room, that's for sure. And so it's a blessing.
You guys have got some younger guys out there on defense, whether it's draft picks or not. Are you mentoring a little bit more this year as opposed to getting your own feet on the ground?
Say that one more time.
Having the young guys out there, are you mentoring a little bit more this year as opposed to last year when you were just trying to get your feet on the ground with the defense?
Well, I think it's always younger guys who are around who need to be coached up or mentored to, and sometimes they ask, sometimes you'll see something and say something to them. And, I was doing that last year. I think that's just part of my character. I remember how it was when I was young, and I was looking to the vets to say something to me. Sometimes I didn't know what questions to ask, and so every little piece that they gave me was helpful. And so, of course, when you see a young guy or a new guy who's trying to pick something up, you want to be able to reach out and help him.